Hey friends, so I have a read aloud for you. We have been looking at the life cycle of a frog, right, at home, and how they start from babies and grow into frogs. So, something I want you to pay attention to when we read this together. Do frogs, when they're born and they hatch from their eggs, do they look like frogs at first, or do they look like something different? As they grow, what are the different things that they start to grow? What do they grow first, next, then, and then what happens last? I wonder if they'd be good at writing a how to grow into a frog story for Writer's Workshop. What do you think? So, this story is called From Tadpole to Frog. And it's by Wendy Pfeffer, illustrated by Holly Keller. From Tadpole to Frog. This is Frog Pond. But where are all the frogs? Using clues, I see there are no leaves on the trees. So I wonder what season this could be. Where do you think the frogs are in that season? When winter winds whistle, the frogs hide. They sleep at the bottom of the pond in the soft mud. Frogs hibernate in their hideaway all winter long. So frogs do what in the wintertime? Do they migrate, adapt, or hibernate? They hibernate. After the ice melts, flowers appear, birds return, and pond creatures wake up. Spring has arrived at Frog Pond. Here are the old frogs stretching their legs. At night, you can hear ba-ra-room, ba-ra-room, ba-ra-room. The males are calling to their mates. So male is another word for boy. The females hear the call. The male hugs his mate. He fertilizes her eggs as she lays them in the water. Thousands of soft, jelly-covered eggs cling together in the cool water. In about 10 days, the eggs hatch. The pond comes alive with thousands of tiny tadpoles. They wiggle their tails and breathe underwater with gills just like fish. So there's this question. When they come out of their eggs, do they look like frogs or do they look like something else? Now, a good question I want you to think about. Why do you think that frogs lay so many eggs? They lay thousands of eggs. Why? Why do you think they lay so many? During the summer, the tadpoles swim about eating water plants, but water beetles, snakes, and birds are eating too. They're eating tasty tadpoles, so that might answer our question about why frogs lay so many eggs. When fall comes, look carefully in the water. Are any tadpoles left? What do you think? When fall comes, do you think that tadpoles are still in the water? Where do you think they are? Look here. Are they tadpoles or wet leaves? They're brownish speckled tadpoles. Hundreds of them float by with the brownish speckled leaves, eating and swimming, swimming and eating. The tadpoles grow fat. So they're saying they kind of look like brown leaves. I wonder if that helps them. Anyone know what that word is when they blend in with their surroundings? Camouflage. When winter winds blow again, they burrow under the mud at the bottom of the pond. They do not eat. They do not move. They just sleep. What do you think they're doing? When spring sunshine warms the tadpole's world, they awake, hungry. So they swim and eat and swim. Tiny hind legs begin to sprout. They grow longer and stronger while the tail grows shorter and shorter. So what changed? What's happening to our tadpoles now? What are they growing? Legs. And they grow their back legs first. Tiny front legs begin to show. The tadpoles look like long-tailed frogs. But do frogs have tails? No. All summer, the tadpoles change more. Lungs develop and more. Mouths and eyes grow larger and more until they become frogs. So take a look at the tail. What happened to the tail? It got smaller, right? It's looking a little bit more like a frog now. When their tails disappear, they are no longer tadpoles. Now they use their strong legs and webbed feet to swim instead of their tails, right? And frogs have webbed feet to help them push water like a duck. Now they can rest on lily pads and leap onto land. The frogs flick out their long, sticky tongues and capture worms, spiders, and dragonflies. Now, where are all the frogs? See them camouflaged in those bushes? Slowly the days grow colder, winter winds blow, birds fly south. Once again, the pond creatures hibernate. Where are the frogs now? So do you remember back to the beginning? Where were all of those frogs in the winter? Were they swimming? No, where are they? They're hibernating, right? At the bottom of the pond. So I want you to have a conversation with somebody in your house about how those frogs change from a tadpole to a frog. So what was something that they started with that they don't end with? And another thing you might want to try is figuring out, why do frogs have webbed feet and hands, right? We don't have webbed fingers, right? See, we have lots of space. They have webbed. You could try in the bathtub or even in your sink, opening your fingers and pushing water like this, and then closing your fingers and pushing water. What happens to the water? Why do you think frogs have webbed feet instead of non-webbed like us? I will see you tomorrow for another calendar and read aloud. Bye, friends.